I'll skip the intros. Hi friends, BQX. That's Voyager on Binance. I know there's a few confusing different tickers for it out there, but this is the coin that we're going to be taking a look at. BQX USD on Binance. It's Voyager. You might be calling it something else if you're trading on a different exchange. Right, cool. Binance, Voyager token versus USD, the price action for Binance for Voyager. Right, great, let's do this. Okay, so 4 hour time frame, you see that I had a death cross over here back on the 16th of March. The prices subsequently did move towards the downside, finding resistance in at that 50 simple period moving average, but we have finally broken it now. We're looking at this period just here and saying, if we do see a pullback at the time, then we really do need to see the prices manage to stay above this 50 simple period moving average for us to avoid getting another few decent chunk move down the way here and retesting these previous lows overall. So we don't really want to see that, because if you're holding on to long positions, then you're looking at a subsequent extra 15% loss on your position there, perhaps before then, of course, perhaps conditions change in the markets. So that's important. Why would that be important for us? Well, just let me sort out these oscillator dudes down below. Because if we actually do turn around to this point here, you could say that we've got some hidden bearish divergence, okay? And then that would of course signal quite badly for us coming down here. You wouldn't want to be coming down and testing your previous lows off the back of this hidden bearish divergence move that is available for us to exploit across most of the oscillators for us here. Now there are a couple of little points that are maybe worth bringing in here, and we can say that from a DMI perspective here in the 4 hour time frame, we can judiciously look at this and say, yes, we can anticipate long conditions coming in here with a good strength of trend movement towards the top side, perhaps translating across into a larger term trend move, perhaps a reversion to the overall prior upward trend. That would be lovely, but we're just early days on this because the ADX line is not turned blue yet. It's still orange. That means it's below 25 here on my chart. So we're just about there, and of course if we did see a turnaround here, it wouldn't be that big a surprise since it's in the oversold territory as well on the stochastics, having just had from the point of view this recovery so far. But what is that larger trend then that we're looking to on the 24 hour time frame? And you can see here is of course the overall upward movement that this has been in for quite a while, and it does get periods of consolidation, as we can see, followed by periods of movement. Let's hope that this is of course just one of those. But taking out this previous low, what does it do? It does two things at once. Of course it takes out their market structure area or previous low over here, then of course it opens up the possibility for further dumpage down towards the 200 period simple moving average here on the daily time frame, and that's coming in at around about 160 at the minute, with the prices being about 520. That's clearly something that you don't want to be holding your nose and diving into, right? But looking down the way here towards the smaller term time frames, then how are we doing, how are we thinking, and all that good stuff. And of course what we're about to see here in the 1 hour time frame is yet another one of those golden cross scenarios for us. Things could be very lovely. We could push on past the way. Why is it happening in here at this particular moment in time? Why is it such a perfect zone for managing your risk in and around about all of this? Well, of course that's because of that bigger scenario in terms of the potential for hidden bullish divergence if we don't crack past here our previous high on this inflection, on this chart here, in this where this previous inflection point was. Moving past here brings in, brings in the opportunity for of course nicer movements towards the top side. Nicer movements? That's a bit of a soft expression there. Rocky, what are you thinking? Anyway, what are those nicer movements? And looking between those highs and lows, you can see that this is the 50% line where we're finding that inflection at, and of course a horse, we could be looking up towards this area of 580 thereafter. That's of course a more than 10% move towards the top side overall, so that's lovely trading conditions for us. But we actually have this showing us that if we actually take out our previous area where we had our highs at before, this is the all-time high zone in there at 745, I believe it's all-time high on this coin, then what we're looking at then is a potential to go up towards these higher profit taking targets, and the one to look to I suppose for those greedy guts among us is up there at the 1618 and $11. So is that a conceivable target? Yes it is, and the story towards getting there comes in at how we've described it here. Now of course there is a clear potential for a pullback just here, an inflection. Even just thinking about stuff and coming down towards the 450 zone doesn't actually negate any of that possibility for us, but it is a 10% knock off the price. Now if you're going to be managing your risk, I'm not a financial advisor, none of this is financial advice, but looking at that 10% type thing and thinking either that you might want to consider your overall position with it movement down further than that would maybe be worth thinking about, and also towards the top side that there's no harm in taking profit with moves once they've happened along those sorts of lines. So be aware and don't be scared if we do, of course, move rapidly between either of these destinations, because of course overall in terms of the 24-hour time frame and the larger trend is towards the top side, but we're at a zone where we could have inflection at. That of course carries us down various chunks, and we've all identified it already for us on there. With the 24-hour time frame having just had this tick over on the stochastics, this is very, very nice to see. So a little extra sort of bonus for us. This area not taking out this inflection zone over here means that we haven't taken out this low over here, haven't taken it out, so we haven't dropped down. It is a huge chunk, but this then makes this whole consolidation zone give us the potential for hidden bullish divergence. Okay, hidden bullish divergence here on this one, that could be continuation divergence, as in perhaps an increase in that sort of motivation towards the prices moving towards the top side. That would be wonderful to see on the bigger time frame sort of scenario. And in terms of the weekly, it's like there was just a period of dumping onto everybody when this thing got launched, and then a period of sort of buying it all back again. So that's what we're seeing here overall, and that means that when we look up on the big time frames, the importance of that $11 and the inflection point for us here really comes in to be seen as we look towards our last all-time high. There we go, that's everything. I didn't even know that it would work out to be so spectacularly on the nose there with these price points. But bringing on the where's my Fibonacci hiding? It's not visible in the day. Anyway, that's where that 1618 was. So you can see the magic of the whole thing working together there. Of course, things could change earlier on. It just depends how greedy people get. Now, when the party really begins, is pushing past that zone. But hey, that's 100% plus away from where we are right now. Do we really need to start, packing our lunch boxes for our journey to the moon quite yet, when there's plenty of highway left ahead of us? Let's take it one step at a time.